Let's jump into this first story we have from the Washington Examiner. Check this out. As most of you know, I want to be careful. It's a very serious subject. I mean, it is horrifying watching what happened in Waukesha. If you haven't heard, a man took an SUV and he plowed into people, just running them over. There's several casualties, dozens of injuries. There is a very horrifying video where a little girl is just bouncing, a little toddler bouncing in the street, and the car passes within, maybe a foot or two of this kid. And I'm just thinking the parents must have been crying, seeing what happened and knowing how close their child came. It's just horrifying. And we want to know what the motive is. We don't necessarily know. Everybody's speculating, and it's hard to say for sure. But this guy, he has a criminal record involving kids or child. So that's very serious. But he's also a Black Lives Matter supporter. He's supported black nationalism. He's been critical of Trump. And there's been a lot of speculation. So here's the story from the Examiner. Black Lives Matter activist wonders whether Waukesha attack was linked to Rittenhouse verdict. Sounds possible the revolution has started. Now, I'll call out the Examiner a little bit here. His exact quote is a little bit different from sounds possible, and then they stop, then quote, revolution has started. He says, I believe his exact quote is, but it sounds possible that the revolution, okay, to be fair, they're only taking out a couple words. Yeah. He says, but it sounds possible that the revolution has started in Wisconsin. It started with this Christmas parade. This is a guy named Vaughn L. Mays. Now, I don't think it's fair to say this guy is calling for it, agreeing with it or otherwise, but I think it's important to note that this guy, not like he's a powerful influencer, that's his frame of mind. That he sees this and his immediate reaction was retaliation over the Rittenhouse verdict. Many people on the right have pointed out the same thing. It is 2 days, not even 2 days, not even two full days from the Rittenhouse verdict, when already tons of leftists were saying, I'll be careful about how I phrase it, but threatening death on many people, not just Kyle. You have people going on Twitter saying retaliation, revenge, something like this happens from a guy who's been promoting this stuff on his social media. That's what it seems like. Now, I want to stress the police have said they do not believe it's terror at this point. They're saying he was not being pursued. He was fleeing some crime, which I think makes no sense. We have this from Andy No. He supported BLM causes, George Floyd, black nationalism. And he has a post about how to run away, about running people over on the street and getting away with it. So that being said, the big takeaway is not what his true motive was. And I say this often when it comes to this stuff. It's how people react. If the left and the right are both reacting that this is political, it becomes political.
Yeah, I think not just how they react. I agree with you on that. How people react, it becomes political. It gives us a pulse check on the country and where we are. We've been hearing this sort of rhetoric kind of bubbling beneath the surface in, internet forums and stuff over the past couple of years, but it's becoming more and more of a mainstream idea. Oh, sorry, I'll get on the mic. But the other aspect of this is the media's culpability. Because the media has been misrepresenting the Kyle Rittenhouse case for the past year. And they've been misrepresenting the case after the verdict, after the facts have come out over and over. Again, if you watched our show, we had the entire trial streaming and you could see the actual facts coming out in real time from the witnesses who were there. The media has completely whitewashed over those facts being put out there. The only place that's done anything to even mildly walk it back is CNN saying, oh, we now found out that the gun didn't cross state lines.
That clip was amazing. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they're like, we've learned some things in the trial, and then they just rattle off this huge list of everything they glossed over and got wrong that we've all known since the beginning. And then when Cernovich was like, they're scared of getting sued, the reporter responded with, "Sir, I am just a reporter. No one's making me say this." And I'm like, bull crap.
Yeah.